Artificial intelligence, friend or foe? Are we going to see them take over planet Earth and dominate the human species and sit down and give us direction and we just mindlessly follow it? Sometimes we already are. We really need to make certain that we're in charge and not the artificial intelligence. So with that, let's talk about the different types of artificial intelligence. There really has been around for a long period of time. We just really didn't know it. But let's talk about the types, the benefits, and the drawbacks. There are three distinct types altogether. It really goes back to the beginning of the information age, and you can almost take it back to the development of the abacus when we think about the process of using tools to help make decisions. But the reality of the computer really changed everything, and it was inevitable from that moment forward as computer development continually went from a computer the size of a house to the size of a room to the size of a suitcase to the size of a laptop, that we're going to sit down and continually have information being compacted in smaller and smaller aspects of it, as well as the processing capability of each next generation of computers. We have three different types, and the book does not really define them well. You have machine learning, you have robotic processing automation, and you have natural language processing. We really became much more observant of artificial intelligence when in 2022, ChatGPT came, boom, and it exploded on the scene. And that's a natural language processing application of it. But we've had machine learning for a long, long time, and also robotic processing automation. I want to go over the brief history because you can be using all three of them. If you know about them, it can really help you be the carrier of more knowledge into your organization because you know about it and because you heard about it here and might get the hang of how to use it in the real world. Machine learning is about identifying objects, people, and features. We see a lot of this on the autonomous vehicles as it drives down the street. The machine is actually learning how to watch signs, how to watch people, how to watch somebody on a bike. You have that aspect of it. It converts spoken language into text. That's machine learning. Medical diagnosis. But if you look really what's happening now in the medical field, we've had the MRI go from a 40-minute process of actually having a person go through the whole machine and everything, looking on the human body, down to about a 15-minute process, saving a massive amount of time and cost with the machine use as well as the technicians running it, because they're using machine learning to sit down there and extrapolate data as to what it's seen, what shadow it is, and then creating it as a much clearer database than we've ever had before. Stock market trading. I teach a class about investments, and I was always worried about the aspect of hitting one of those moments where a computer at a giant different retirement account, like PERS and STIRS here in California, where they sit down and hit 7 different key points and boom, all of a sudden, as soon as those 7 points are done, it does a massive stock dump and sells everything off. Well, now you, in the stock marketing world, you can trade using analysis on your own artificial intelligence, and you can be as nimble as the giant machines. It really will help those that are paying attention to machine learning as to how you can go about using the tool of artificial intelligence, this sector called machine learning, how to develop your own stock portfolio and your investment aspects. Predictive analytics, it can extrapolate previous history on budgets to develop a new budget, and you can do so very quickly rather than having to sit down there with your calculator and punch numbers nonstop and generate a tape. But now you can do it really with predictive analytics. Autonomous vehicles are using this and they're making decisions as to when to leave the lane, when to accelerate, when to pass somebody, and you're seeing this happening on a regular basis. Waymo, frankly, they dominate the taxi service in Phoenix, Arizona, and you see these vehicles driving up and down the streets. I watched them, and there's nobody driving, but they have enough technology on it that they're looking at the vehicles around them, making certain they're safe. One time I was watching, and about 3 of them were actually in a hotel parking lot, and they're all jockeying for position and trying to be polite and courteous to each other because, in fact, they're all self-driving. It was almost humorous as you could see them kind of creeping about a fraction of an inch as they each try to move each other in the process. So you'll see machine learning really setting up, and sometimes as it becomes more advanced, we'll see the humor with it, but eventually it's going to really take the algorithm, the data, and the model and train itself to have really the aspect of almost human intelligence as it gradually improves its accuracy from moment to moment to moment and accumulates more and more data. The second type I want you to know about is called robotic process automation. We've referred to it as RPA. It's really the software robotics and intelligent automation technologies. They perform repetitive tasks that humans typically do. Amazon really has jumped on this aspect over here in sorting. You wouldn't think much about it, but literally what we're seeing now in Amazon, the day and age of having a totally dark warehouse is upon us. By dark, it means like literally no lights turned on, and the warehouse has almost no humans working in it whatsoever. They have robots moving shelving racks nonstop. They have robots going up and down the aisles picking, which really RPA is picking the packages out now, and then it drops it off on a conveyor belt for delivery and putting into the final delivery aspect of it. And now the latest application is an RPA that sits there and grabs the individual item, puts it into the box, grabs the next one and puts it back. And this is the hand, but the hand is flipping, spinning, and everything else, making sure it fits properly. This is really the automation of routine tasks, which is what robot process automation is. There's a software package that is currently available that just came online on a commercial basis this year for colleges. It takes a student paper and it does a robotic process automation. It provides the professor with a review of the paper. It doesn't grade it. That's the professor's job, but it gives multiple recommendations as to what rules it had and were violated and everything else. It even does a nice job of identifying when artificial intelligence is used, and the instructor gave the direction not to use it. So you be careful with that one. So RPA is a big deal. We'll see increased efficiency. It's going to save a lot of money on automating routine tasks. You're seeing this aspect over here on the scalability and the productivity. This is the area that's actually eliminating a massive number of jobs as we speak in the days to come, especially eliminating jobs, believe it or not, in the information sector and the computer programming sector. It's kind of scary. This is the one, natural language processing, the third one. So now we have 3 that we've talked about, and this is the third one, NLP, natural language processing. It really is the interaction between the human languages and the computer itself. It's the one that you sit there and says, hey, can you create this over here? Can you write my paper for me? So the instructor can't identify that it's artificial intelligence. Okay, so you have that, except for the fact that there are certain codes in there that are identifiable for each one of the different software packages. But with that being said, the syntax, semantic, the pragmatics, a lot of times when I start looking at papers that are created from NLPs, the reality of it comes down to they are really boring because they're so careful not to say anything offensive. And the problem with a lot of NLPs, they draw from social media. And social media is relatively seldom what I would call intelligent. It's blathering for people to have an opinion, but not necessarily people that have an intelligent opinion. Opinions should not be part of the overall draw from the base, but too often we'll see the NLPs drawing from social media rather than from actually historical records or good, strong, solid data. And that probably is the strength and the weakness all at one time. You'll see a lot of text classification, sentiment of emotion. It's almost funny. One of the administrators at Irvine Valley College, which is where I'm from, okay, he actually sits down and he writes a memo, he puts it into his AI, and he says, toss in some human emotion. Well, I've read his memos. They're a little bit lengthy. They're not really as interesting as I think he's capable of. Well, I didn't realize he's using an AI, but it's really odd. A human is turning to an AI to ask the AI to put in some human emotion. So the human has the AI expressing human emotion. Somehow there's something really quirky about that. Anyway, machine translation, chatbots, virtual assistants. Now you pretty much have the phone sit down and say, I want to go to Rome tomorrow. Okay. And you'll have your virtual assistant sitter going through a whole series of calculations, and boom, all of a sudden it'll spit out the purchase of a ticket over here. You only have one nonstop in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. You got to sit on an island, wait for 3 days and go to Rome. I'm just kidding about that, but make certain that you double check everything just in case you do have something odd about that. But the truth is, speech recommendation, information retrieval, it's all out there. AI will transform the world as we know it. And it's going to be taking away jobs. Let's get that really clear. And that's why you need to know about artificial intelligence on a regular basis. It has a whole series of challenges. Will weaponizing AI, will that really happen? Will AI replace us? Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, data issues, there's cost. A lot of the benefits, this graph would really be handy. You're going to see a lot of this, but we're going to see a lot of creativity unleashed with AI. But maybe we're going to have a lot of AI taking over the mundane task, and maybe the human creativity is what I really see being a major help with AI, and really freeing humans to sit down and be more creative. Know about machine learning, robotic processing automation, natural language processing, not just for this class, but make certain you know about it for your career pathway. It will replace jobs, and if you learn to use it, you can thrive instead of being replaced. You too can be on top and have AI be your friend if you know how to use it well and then actually enhance your overall skill set. AI, friend or foe, it's really up to you how engaged you are in the process. Take care.